Right, so what I'm going to invite you to do today is a little bit more preparation work for the steps of the Fandango, but the preparation actually is transferable skill to other dances as well. The angle of the camera is a bit funny today because I want to be able to talk to you, but I want you to be able to see my feet as well, or my hips downwards. So if you'd like to stand with your feet more or less hip width apart under your hips, or possibly slightly wider, just comfortably separated by 1 foot length. Both feet pointing in the same direction, so your feet are parallel. Knees soft, hip joint soft, ankle joint soft. Drop your tailbone to the ground, lift your lower abdomen up slightly, but I'm not asking you to grip on, just get yourself in a nice, comfortable, nice vertical position, so that if you went up and down like this, your spine feels as though it's traveling up and down vertically. Your hips, your pelvic bowl is like a lift cage in a lift shaft. It's going up and down vertically. And if you just do a little bit of this bouncing up and down, you don't go as far down as you can possibly go, just halfway, and you don't straighten your legs completely either. Just feel that looseness in your knees primarily, but in order to get the movement, yes, your knees bend, but your ankles have to negotiate and your hip joints have to negotiate. So that's just a straight up and down, gentle bounce like that. So whenever you get the opportunity to move to any music, I'd like to invite you to try and get that bouncy sense, because it gives you elasticity and it gives you springiness. So any timing of music, you find a bounce that can fit into it. Make sure your shoulders are soft, relaxed, that you're breathing, you're not holding your breath, and that your chest is open. From the midpoint of the sternum, you try and get your chest to open that way. And you lift up here. So get a nice bouncy feeling going. It's not the shake that we did the other day. It is a gentle, soft bounce. And move around a little bit like that. I haven't put any music on yet. Don't panic. You're not hearing it. It's not there yet. So move from foot to foot, still having that gentle, bouncy sense. So we do definitely need that bounciness. The next thing that I'd like you to do is to take that bouncy movement into one foot and then the other foot. So your weight is on one leg and then your weight is on the other leg. So your weight's on one leg, this foot is free, it could come off the floor or it could rest gently on the floor, but you're aware of the fact that your weight is on one leg. That's your axis, your standing leg, your standing position. You're not falling over because there's enough integration in your body structure to keep you upright. And then on the other leg like that. So now we're getting closer. The next part of this movement, this preparation movement, is to go one bounce on one side and a tap with the free foot. Let's see if we make sure that you can actually see that. And a bounce, touch, bounce, touch, bounce, touch. So now instead of bouncing up and down on both feet like this, we are stepping onto one foot, touching, stepping onto the other foot. So you're not moving around much at this point, you're just on the spot, but you're going bounce, touch, bounce, touch. Let's try that to some music. This is 3-time music, you're warned. Are we ready? So can you see it's bounce, touch, step, touch, step, touch. And there's 2 bounces. One when you step onto the foot and one when you touch with the other foot. Bounce, 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 bounce. Trying to say it at the same time isn't at all easy. Now, I'm going to ask you to do that again in a moment, and I'll put the music on again. The thing is, just to emphasize, so it's very elastic in the knees, and there is a bounce. How much of a bounce is up to you? But the more that you can kind of enjoy that sense of pushing into the floor as you drop onto the foot, that push down, it's like it puts a pressure, an elastic tension into the body, which then when you release it, it springs you up again. And so that is what develops your springiness. When we want to dance the Fandango, we're going to be right up here a lot of the time. So it starts from pushing into the floor and working out how to get that push back out of the floor. So for the moment, we're just practicing that, dropping, pushing off the floor and touching with the other foot. The touch with the other foot is just to stabilize you at the moment. Let's do that again. Right, so I would recommend that you listen to that again, that you do that again, that you get into this, letting your weight drop into the floor and letting your knee act like a shock absorber spring that then gives you the lift to come back up off the floor again. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. A continuous movement, one that you don't hold it anywhere, it doesn't stop anywhere. So you're not looking for a kind of, okay, I'm down there, and now I'm up there, and now I'm stepping onto the other foot, now I'm down, now I'm up. So yes, sometimes if you're not used to it, you might find, oh, that felt a bit awkward. Don't worry, shake out, stop, breathe, and just start again, looking for that feeling, that easy, elastic feeling. When we've got the elastic going, where we want to go with it is the basic first step of the Fandango. And actually, it's the fourth step of the Fandango, but and it's called the pas de base, which means the base step of the. So, what's the relationship between this and what we've just been practicing, which was step, touch, step, touch, step, touch, step, touch? The difference is the basic step that we did, the exercise step that we did, you stepped and you touched, step and touch. So there's one weight change there and no weight change there, that's just a touch. So it's a weight change there and a touch, weight change, touch, weight, touch, change, but with that elastic. When we get into this basics, the pas de base, that we need for a lot of things, so trust me, this is worth your while to work on. It's like a 1-2-3 combination. Weight change as before, but instead of just touching that foot and leaving all your weight on the standing leg, you put enough weight into the front foot to push so slightly that you can lift the back foot off the ground and immediately drop it back down again. So your weight stays in the same line. Try it on each foot. You have to be able to push hard enough to get the standing foot off the floor but you're not actually changing your weight onto that foot and back. So you shouldn't have a sense of transferring to a different standing leg. You're just pushing up and dropping off it again. It's like the step that you use when you do a swing. See, that foot moves around, but it has to be able to pick itself up and step down again to negotiate the movement that you need to go around or to move around. It's the same step that you use in Cajun dancing. I think it's called the pony step, that kind of thing there. And we just do one of them on each side. 1 and 1. So it's step, touch, down, 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 step, touch, down. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And you can do this in any sort of shape, so long as you get that sense of dropping on the 1, the first step. If you do this in 3 time, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you do it in 4 time, there's going to be a pause, so it would go 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Same movement. This is what we use for a polka, and this is what we use for dances in 3 time. No, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's what we use for dances in 3 time. Okay, I'll put the music on again, and I'm going to do the pas de base, that second step, that 1, 2, 3 step, where the back foot, the foot you're standing on, shifts a little bit. See if you can get the difference. This is really crucial, basic stuff. So I'm deliberately turning a bit, so you can see what's going on there, I hope. Drop 2, 3, drop 2, 3. But you can use that step to move around, to travel around the floor. So when you get used to that step, go anywhere with it and keep practicing. Same movement. Now for the Fandango, you do it in a straight line, a bit like river dancing, except that we haven't got the arms rigid. They can be soft for the moment. So that means the free foot comes across the front, so that in an ideal world, at that moment, your feet are really in a straight line, one behind each other. Don't forget to be soft, elastic. Your heels touch the ground, but they're not at all stuck on the ground. It's not flat-footed dancing. The majority of the weight is in the balls of your feet. So when you get comfortable with the music, if you hear a stop like that, you stop and start again. You might like to paint a picture with your arms at the same time as doing this. Try doing it turning around. So, one little tip, so if you get as far as practicing turning around, for the Fandango particularly, so you've got a standing leg and you've got a free leg. When you do this movement, as I said in the beginning practice step, you're trying to keep the free foot in front of the standing leg. So your weight is actually slightly back because you've got a free leg coming out the front of you. That's not to say you're sitting on your heels. Now when you do some turning around, make sure that that free foot always kind of comes in front of wherever you're facing. Don't let it get behind you because you'll end up with your legs twisted around each other like spaghetti, cooked spaghetti, and you will find it difficult. So that's the other trick, is when you move around and turn this into your own little dance just to practice that movement, make sure the free leg stays more or less in front of your hip line. Otherwise you are quite likely to get stuck with it behind you, and that's not what we want at the moment. Okay, that's enough for today. Speak to you soon.